You already know what time it is. Wake up to the Empowered Morning Show where we are about to get you plugged in and connected to another beautiful day. I feel like I'm behind. Am I behind a little bit?
Mm-mm, I don't think so. You don't
Girl,
sound
You don't
like
think
it.
so? Oh, it just looked like I
it's
wasn't matching up.
Tuesday.
It's
It was
Tuesday. Good morning,
Memorial Day, and we
Patricia.
all probably a little behind.
Happy morning, Bishop. Good to see you ladies this morning. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, a great Memorial Day, and you are ready for this day because I'm telling you, look, whatever you hear, look, we can hear it all. Look, she might just say it on camera. Look, she
We're
said,
having a morning. We're having a morning.
we're having a morning. I'm telling you, I slid right on in, like right on time. Um, Having technical issues, but you know what? It's all good because no matter what, we are unstoppable, baby, unbreakable and unshakable up in this camp. So whatever happens that comes our way, we know God is going to turn it around for our good. So how was your weekends, ladies?
Not long enough.
Not long enough, right? Not long enough. And I decided that I intended to say, like, I'm gonna work all weekend to catch up on some stuff. And then I thought about it and said, you know what?
Hmm.
My nervous system needs to calm down and I need some rest, honestly.
Amen.
Um, and that kind of brings me what I was wanting to. I had shared with Sparkle this weekend. I ran across, YouTube has a lot of these videos where it's positive affirmations. Somebody's on there, and it's got music behind it, right? But everything is just, speaking great things, speaking uplifting, positive things. And one of them said, "I'm God's favorite daughter." And I'm like, let me send this to Sparkle so she can have that playing in the background because it said,
And
"I'm
I
God's
have
favorite
been.
daughter." So with that, it made me think. I've always been, like mini gangster in terms of, what I'm saying, like hardcore. I like stuff fast, I want to get it going. Like I need you to respond fast. I need, what I'm saying? I drive fast, I talk fast, what I'm saying? Everything's been fast. I like hard beats when I listen to music. I love music. And I'll listen to, slow music and of course worship music and stuff like that. But I love like if it's a hard beat and it's rolling and they rapping and they doing it, and they just flowing with the words. I just think that's so like, yes, get me crunk, get me ready, right? However, I have noticed that as I've gotten older, I need something that is soothing to
Slow
my
you.
nervous
You need
system.
a little slow
I
down,
need something that puts
a
me
little
in the mood of,
jazz.
yes,
A
like
little-
girl, my daughter, well, my husband's always listened to jazz. I used to get in the truck and be like, okay, because I love to sing. So you know me, I'm singing every song that come on the radio. If I know the words to it, baby, I got it. And I'm singing it like I'm Luther Vandross, Patti LaBelle, Fantasia, baby. I think I'm all up wrapped up. Beyonce, I'm all wrapped into one. Everybody, it's me. And I should have been. God knew that. Don't do me like that. Don't put me out there and give me that gift because He knew I would act a straight donkey. So that's why I just do it behind closed doors. However, my daughter sent me something, and girl, it was a jazz station, but it's a smooth jazz, and it was so relaxing. And so now I've started doing work to it, and it's so good because if I listen to real music, I'm singing, so it's taking me away from what I'm doing. But when I listen to the jazz, it's like it puts my mind on a different
Mm-hmm.
wavelength and I can get things accomplished.
Different
So
frequency.
now I got the little positive beats, which I listened to that and I was like, wow, I feel so energized. I feel so at peace. I feel so centered and calm and grounded. I feel so like I can just relax and chill for real. And I thought about, how we go about. So what made me think about it was I was telling my husband, our children are exposed to so much.
Too much.
When you think about the video games, and let me catch Miss Patricia's comment real quick. She said she had a great weekend and she'll be gone for the next 2 weeks after this
Oh,
week.
okay.
She'll be in Alaska on vacation, baby. Well, honey,
Come
listen.
on, Alaska.
Come on,
Alaska.
Alaska. Enjoy that. Oh, that's gonna be
Yes.
amazing. Yes, that I love that for you. Yes. So but our children, if you think about the video games, that are out, they're so aggressive and everything to me
They
and
so hard.
wants you to be so aggressive. Now, up until now, I've been like, girl, go ahead on and let's go ahead and hit it and get it and move and do what we're gonna do, right? But for our children, do you know that if we were to take the time to play the music that has the affirmations in there, that's speaking positivity, that says I am blessed, that says everything good comes to me, that says I am, beautiful and wonderful and smart, and what I'm saying, good things. I attract great things to happen for me. Inside that, do you know that you can hear a little kid and they'll start singing a song straight off the radio because they've memorized the music, right? I mean, the words to the song, and they'll just be singing and they don't know what they're talking about. They can depend on the music, they just hear it and they just pick it up and they just start singing it. Imagine if you poured that into their spirit as little
Exactly. It's a world's difference.
it would change how our world is. Instead of us always being what we say crabs in a barrel and the gossiping and the backbiting and the talking and things, what if we started them off with positivity, where when they're together they're singing about, because I'm great, because you great too, I'm God's
Hmm.
favorite, you are too, I'm blessed, you are too. What if we change that narrative now?
Girl, I'm telling
Imagine
you.
what it would look like, instead of everybody thinking that, oh, because the color of your skin you're not better, you need to go back where you came from. Instead of spewing hatred,
Yeah.
instead of always assuming the negative, what would it be like if we started listening to things and putting into our spirit? Because if y'all think about it, even on programming, like for the Empowered Morning Show, we are talking about things that should uplift you, should encourage you, should make you want to go out and have a great day, right? To empower you to be the best version of you. Good morning, Cynthia Lewis. But do y'all know that the shows that get the best ratings are the shows that are you arguing, you
Oh,
fighting, you got a
absolutely.
lot of drama going on, it's a lot of toxicity, it's a lot of
Be-
dysfunction. We are
because
drawn.
people are attached to that kind. Like
Yes.
I I
They,
need I need that cussing her out and
yes.
beating her up. Like it's
Yes. I need to clap.
amazing.
I need to clap back. I need
Yes, it's
all of these.
amazing how many views somebody can
Oh,
get video camera and somebody fighting.
oh,
Like
girl, baby. Yes, they gonna
your
run
video,
circles around
and
you.
you will see multiple phones up, not just one phone, but nobody's trying to break it up because
They
everybody's
just
so
want to capture the
busy.
video so they can go viral. I saw a video of a mother, and apparently she was like, "Okay, watch this. I bet you they're gonna learn today." So she goes in. Apparently, her son had a young lady in the bed with him. So she had a pot of water, and I don't think it was hot. I think it was cold water, maybe. But anyway, she had threw the pot of water on them, and then she proceeded to tell the little girl to get up out of her house. Why are you here? You a nasty bitch, and she was just on and on. She kept calling her the B word, but she just kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on. And I know that it was probably running up views and it's probably viral and all of
Hmm.
that. But why not use that as a moment to say, you know what, sweetheart? I know that, for both of y'all, sit down, let me talk to y'all. This is not it. I don't need you sneaking into my house. If you want to come here, you're welcome to come, but there's a
Come through the
certain way
front
that
door.
yes, there's a certain way to do that, or call their parents and let's have a conversation, because what we don't want is an unexpected child. What we don't want is for them to not be responsible, and teach them that this is how you got to do things, to sneak in or whatever. Let's have some conversations. We don't do that. And Miss Patricia said it would be a good community, a beautiful, positive impact for people. It
Yeah,
would.
it's no different of when you're cooking a great meal. You put all the extra marination and all that into the meat because you want the outcome for it to be great. So
Yes.
if we're not pouring greatness and the great marination into the kids, like people should remember some positive that you would say, that you know that you said. Like I remember my grandma would be like, girl, don't you fit in with everybody. Like you're not made to fit in. And when you want to do something crazy, you can hear that don't fit. Now you're trying to fit in. You're trying to make yourself. You We have to remember because your brain remember those words like
Mm-hmm.
don't do that. That's hot. Don't try that. Imagine if we let go of our anger because when you're pouring out some of your anger. Some of
Yeah.
that frustration is
Yes.
your frustration.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you caught
Yes.
the little boy in your house, but now you going back to when I remember when that man like you way over there.
Bless
Like,
you, Natasha. Bless you. But yes, and that's like even in relationships, we tend to um make somebody else pay for somebody else's mistakes or
mm-hmm.
somebody else's hurt or somebody else's whatever. In friendships, you know, in friendships you lump people together because you say, you know what, this and this, but at the end of the day it really was this one person, but you want to get everybody
all,
because you're hurt.
all men are dogs. No,
Yes, you
you
know,
just
we
keep
we
choosing
we
a dog.
yes, we choose to lump people together. But Natasha, I want to go back to the nervous system and how, you know, because that's really popular now. You know, people say, you know, we need to calm your nervous system. You know, this is taking your nervous system all over the place. Can you speak about how watching violence, you know, because again, when you think about a lot of the video games, you know, it's the you know, and they try to take somebody out, and it's, you know, the music is hard and everything is kind of like for our little kids entertainment.
Mhm.
It's so aggressive. How does that portray out
Oh,
into
I mean,
adulthood?
it's all psychological, and you use a great word called programming. And from the moment we're in the womb, we're being programmed. That's one of the reasons why they tell mothers to listen to certain types of music and
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
to relax and to
Talk
de-stress
to the bad
because
belly.
talk to the baby, because the baby is already starting to hear and feel in the womb. And everything around us influences and shapes the mind. It shapes
Mm-hmm.
the way we think, it shapes perspective. And that's why I say, you know, when we first come into this world, we're innocent and we are dependent, we are reliant on our caregivers to guide us. And I
Right.
think all of what you're saying is great. And a lot of people will probably disagree with this when I say that we have the power to choose to be negative or positive, right? However,
True.
while we have the power to do that, for some of us, what we've been influenced by is so ingrained in us,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some people
Mm-hmm.
normalize what they've been influenced by and
Mm-hmm.
get comfortable and complacent with just being, this is just who I am. And so you
Yes.
bring a child into that space, and now that child is susceptible to whatever that adult has normalized. And so now, and that's just, we just keep paying that forward, right? And I say
Mm-hmm.
that 'cause I watch people, even in my own childhood growing up, where I have adults who have the attitude and the mindset of, well, this is just the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't realize that they're yelling and screaming and hitting and all these things had an impact. It's one of the reasons why I wrote my book, wasn't to blame anybody, but was to say that this had an impact on me. It
Mm-hmm.
affected my worth. It affected my value. It affected my self-esteem. It affected my confidence. It affected how I treated people. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to work twice as hard to say, okay, I don't want to repeat that pattern, or I don't want to repeat those cycles. And I have to choose differently. So there's a huge psychological and physiological impact, influence of any kind is going to have on the human body. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just the exposure to violence. Yes, it does rattle the nervous system, but any type of trauma, emotional neglect, emotional abandonment, grief and loss, all those things, it influence and affect our nervous system. And
Mhm.
part of the work that I do, it's not just changing what you believe to be true, but like you talked about, change what you're watching, change what you're listening to. And before we came on the show this morning, Sparkle and I were talking about changing your environment in terms of your community of support.
Mhm.
People who were once part of your support system aren't part of your support system today, and I'm not mad about it. And I was telling Sparkle, I have people in my family like, well, I can't believe you're not friends with this one, and I can't believe you're not friends with that one. And I said, first of all, it's not that I'm not friends with them. I'm not mad at these individuals. If I see these people on the street, I will talk with them. However, where I am in my life and where they are in their life, right? We don't
Mhm.
we don't need that influence. And I'm not going to judge and say that influence is right or wrong, good or bad. It's just not the influence that God needed me to have in my life right now. And I see
Yes.
everything that he takes away from me as a blessing. I see everything that is taken from my life as a means for protection, right? But it has
Mm.
taken a
Mhm.
lot of work. And like you said, changing the things around me, the things I listen to, the people I talk to, in order for me to choose differently. Because if I didn't
Yeah.
surround myself with new people, if I didn't surround myself with new music, if I didn't surround myself with stepping outside of the norm and watching different types of movies and different genres of movies, I would have grown up the same way I was influenced as a child, and I would not
Mhm.
have changed much,
Yeah.
right?
But I also think even, people around you pouring into your silent still season,
Mm,
when you're silent and you're being still all at the same time without asking their permission or
right.
asking them, are you okay? Are you okay with this week? I'm not going to say anything. They're upset because you're not talking. Like some people are really mad at you because you're not talking, you're not saying anything, and they believe that you're supposed to tell them what's going on with your life and where you're at and how you move it and how you're going to do this and how you're going to overcome that. But because that's the normal, maybe that's how you used to move. But now God has you in a quiet, still
Yep.
moment where he's saying, you don't move until I tell you to move. And you don't talk until I tell you to
Tell you
talk.
to talk.
So they're blaming you for your obedience.
And that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? And so people don't understand, because if we're not walking a similar walk, if we don't share a similar connection and a relationship to God, many don't understand. It's the same thing with boundaries. When we were talking about boundaries last week, which by the way, I know it's a conversation we have to come back to. But even with boundaries, people like, oh, you're not doing this and you're not doing that, almost in a judgmental way. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you
What
doing
you
that?
mean
Because
you're not?
I don't do that anymore. Like, I refuse to be a doormat. I
Mhm.
refuse to settle for breadcrumbs. I'm changing the way I always say, you teach people how to treat you,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the friendships I don't have, or relationships I don't have anymore, part of that had to do with what I allowed people to do to me that I'm no longer
Mm-hmm.
willing to do today. And that comes under
If
influence.
you don't say that one more time, it's what you allow
Now.
people to do
Mhm.
because people like when you're a doormat.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
People love that.
You're a
They
yes girl.
If they can get their way all of the time, then they're happy.
Mhm.
If you're gonna go where I go, if you're gonna do what I say let's do, if you're
you're
gonna
gonna
eat what I
check
say
in when I
let's
tell
eat,
you to check in.
exactly. If you're gonna be like, okay, well, we're not doing that. And it's really similar to being in high school. You be like, okay,
Mhm.
oh, we're not friends with her. Okay, you're not talking.
Okay.
Okay, me either.
Yeah.
you know and the reality is we have allowed a lot of childhood behavior to stick with us as adults,
Mm-hmm.
and not realizing that even when people grow up and have their own kids and have their own relationships and move somewhere, that changes people. They're not the same now. And I'm not saying that y'all can't still be best friends from fourth grade. I'm not saying that, you can't still be close with your college roommate. I'm not saying any of those things. But what I am saying is that we have to be mindful that people are going to grow. Because as you go through life and you talk to people at the job, or you make friends at church, or meet your in-laws, and y'all buddy up and kicking and start having a great time, you're going to see change.
Mhm.
And that's just the reality of life. Go ahead,
That
Natasha.
comes back to the conversation we had last week between attachment versus connection.
Mhm.
When you are attached to something and one of y'all are sick, aren't you at risk for getting sick too because you're attached
Exactly.
to that thing?
You're at risk of catching it too.
And the thing is, you can't really grow because we're locked in. So there's
Yeah.
not a lot of growth for us.
It's a
We have to
hindrance.
separate.
It's a hindrance.
Yes.
Yes. In a sense, it's a hindrance, because you just think, if you are handcuffed to somebody, if they move, you got to go with
You
them.
move with
Yeah.
them.
If they sit
Absolutely.
there, if you're like, let's run, they're like, I'm tired, then they stop you in your tracks, and you can't go any further unless you're dragging them, which means you got extra pressure on you because you're pulling weight that you weren't designed to carry.
And then
Yep.
and then when you think about connection, this is an analogy that just came to mind, or a visual that just came to mind. You think about these electric cars that go and get charged at these charging stations, right?
Right.
They have to get plugged in, they got to get connected to get the electricity for the car to work, because without it, the car is not going to go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Right.
The two cars pull up at the same time, and they pull up for connection. So I imagine that the charging station being God, right?
Mhm.
So the two of them pull up to get connected. And at any time, one could leave before the other one and unplug from that connection and be okay, right?
And be okay.
But if those two cars were attached, let's say they were stuck together, and one wanted to leave early, it wouldn't be able to pull out of the station early enough. It had to wait for the other one that it's attached to.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, people don't understand, like, we have spent our lives attaching to people, places, and things. And that is why we are not truly functioning and operating in the space that God has called us to, because we're too busy, like, well, I can't do this without them. And
Oh.
well, we're
Mhm.
here now. And
That's
Mhm.
it goes back to when you want to go somewhere. You feel like you can't go unless somebody goes with you.
goes with you.
So you're
Exactly.
gonna miss out on an opportunity to go see something you've been wanting to see, get
Or
in
do.
the environment, because Angela, because Angela don't want to go. Like, okay. Angela might not have, even though we hang together, we like each other, we do things together, she might not like it. Like, she don't want to go. So I'm
Or
like,
we allow other people to dictate. I would be like, well, girl, look, I ain't going this week. Look, I really don't want to see it, but I mean, if you want to go, we'll go. Let's go in 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, and prolong you getting what you need to get.
Or
because
I'll
I need that right now. Like, maybe I need whatever's because God does setups. Like, we don't even understand how He prepares us to go to places. For your breakthrough could be sitting there.
Be there. Yes. Who are you going to connect with when you get there? You never know what blessings you're missing out on because you allow other people to hinder that, block that, or impede that progress that you need to make in your life. And Natasha was getting ready to say something. What was it?
Well, I think it's not just people. I think it's the job. I think it's money. We use all these things like, well, I can't take time off from work. I can't leave the job. There's so much.
Right.
I can't leave these kids.
Right.
And I always say, like, God forbid I drop dead tomorrow. They are going to, HR is going to find somebody else.
Let me tell you,
quick, fast, and the doggone
your
hurry.
funeral arrangements made, that job posting is out there. They redoing the job description. Like,
Baby,
get the news.
they moving faster than y'all can on the other side.
And
So
you
we
better
sit
hope
here-
they send the flowers. You
So
better
we
hope they remember to order your flowers. Oh, I did not order them flowers. I need to order them flowers from the family. And after so long, guess what they don't? They don't even remember you being there. Like, you're not even, like, after that month, they're like, oh, today, go today. And then that next month, your name don't even exist anymore. Like,
Then
And so
next
all of
year,
that,
what was that lady that was in that department? What was her name? Ooh,
and all of that ties back to Angela's thing about the nervous system. It's like you're constantly going all the time, and we don't take, it comes back to not taking that rest, not taking that time to realize that I need to slow down and I need to connect back to the source in order for me to keep moving and in order for me to keep doing the things that he's called me to do. I mean, when I say we get in our own way, we get in our own way, but we are too busy blaming
we do.
everybody else. You know, it's the job.
Exactly.
We're not making enough money, and I can't do this, and I can't do that.
Never blaming who's the person to blame.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you say, I can't do this and I can't do that, you are basically saying that your God isn't that great,
Mm.
right? If I keep saying to you, well, I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't whatever, it's like, okay, so I'm basically, I tell you that God is, you know, everything and God can perform miracles and God's the greatest, but I'm over here on the other side of my mouth saying that I can't do this and I can't do that, right? So what am I really saying? So I'm putting these blocks and barriers in my life, and then I get upset because my life isn't turning out the way that it's turning out, or that I'm missing all of these opportunities.
Or
Yeah.
God, I trust you. I trust you only for this part, but this part of my life, I don't trust you. So okay, God, I trust you about my child. Okay, I'm a God, but this job, I can't. Oh God, I can't deal with these people. So which one you gonna do? And you wonder why your life seems like it's a seesaw. Like you seesawing. Sometimes I feel good. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm up. Sometimes I'm down. Like at some point, you got to get tired of seesawing.
Which kind of ties into my reading this morning. It talks about how people are constantly changing, but God never changes. Right? So even we as an individual are constantly changing because we're constantly allowing the things of this world, coming back to the word influence. Rather than allowing God's word to influence us, we are allowing the things of this world to influence us. So we are always changing and we are not consistent. And therefore, if we keep allowing the things of this world to change us and have that type of impact on us, like Angela's saying, my nervous system will never be calm because every day I don't know what I'm going to allow the world to do to affect me.
Yep.
Right. And we're living in crazy times right now. So if I allow myself to be influenced, impacted by the world.
As you think of a person who constantly listens to, say, CNN or, you know, the nightly news or whatever.
Girl, my daddy. Ooh, Lord Jesus.
But they have a different outlook versus somebody who says, you know what, I don't even really let all that negativity get in my spirit. So I'm not worried about what they're doing in Iran and Iraq, and because at the end of the day, if somebody shoots a missile over here, what really are we going to do?
Yes, I'm telling you,
individual, me sitting in my home right now, if somebody had a missile designated to hit me, I'm going to have to be like, you know what, God, then absent from the body is present with the Lord. I mean, I have to, because if I listen and I'm stressed out and I'm overwhelmed and I'm running out here and I'm buying this and buying that to protect me and whatever, what really can protect you from a nuclear fallout? What really can help you? You know what I'm saying? You have to pray to God to either protect my home or know that if I die, then this is my appointed time. But you can't be so overwhelmed and everything that you hear has you nutting up and stressed out and you're going crazy and you can't sleep at night because you're worried about the world and how we are and what's going to happen to you. You can't really say that I trust God and be worried about that. Because my thing is,
at the end of the day,
I trust you, God, that it's going to work out however it's supposed to work out. And then me and my family are going to be okay. And I don't care if they drop 10 bombs down on here. Guess who's going to still be standing and living if the Lord says so? Me and mine. We might be the only ones in here, but listen, and it is what it is. But I'm not going to allow myself to be caught up in all of that, or to be bitter behind all of that, or to be angry behind all of that.
Or to be divided by our opinions of politics. Like, well, I'm on this side and I'm on this side.
Exactly. Because you're a Republican and you voted for somebody, and I'm saying I'm a Democrat and I vote for somebody else, or somebody else says they're independent or they're conservative or whatever.
For the record, when they send that missile, that Michelle doesn't choose if you're a Democrat, a
It does.
Republican, or a liberal.
And don't have a
Hey,
selection,
it
like,
doesn't be like,
or
oh,
if
wrong
you
house.
black, or what
It,
your race is. It doesn't
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
it
it
does
doesn't.
not. It does not.
It's just gonna go. And as we have always known, it doesn't have an eye. It doesn't have a brain. It doesn't have a signal.
Mhm.
All it knows is that I will shut up.
And wherever it lands and wherever you are, it's going to take out any and all
But
of it.
because if you listen to the news people, you should never go out of your home. You should never go to the grocery store. You should never go.
You can't eat nothing. You can't drink nothing. You can't be somewhere, Gary. Listen, you can't go you can't go in the pool. You can't do anything because there's something out there that designed to get you all the time. But I'm gonna go back, Natasha, to something that you were talking about. Getting rest and getting yourself together and rushing and being busy and always blaming something else. When you have lived your life like that for a long time, sometimes it's going to require you to be in a state of stillness and rest along with somebody else. If you've been gripping and running and busy and hustling and grinding for 10 years, you don't think that person may need a bit more of building connections and having rest and restoration and working on themselves. It may take them a little longer. Just because you went through the course and you were able to get your certification in 6 weeks doesn't mean this other person's going to do it in the same time.
It does not.
No, but I can tell you mental health increases significantly for people who are constantly on the go and life forces them to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, whether you choose to slow down or not, life is going to slow you down. And I always think of people who are retiring from jobs or just retirement in general, or they got in an accident or suffered an injury where they couldn't work, they couldn't be going all the time. Like, God has a way, life has a way of slowing us down. But I've watched mental health rapidly be on the incline because people don't know how to. Taking rest is one thing. Some people don't know how to take rest. Some people don't know how to
have no
sit. I was using the analogy earlier about, listening to a certain kind of music, and, you're saying as you're getting older that you're listening to jazz. There are just some people can't even wrap that in their minds. Like, listen to jazz music, because you're talking about polar opposites of music.
That's a total different.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of instruments. Like, it's a lot of
without words. It's
words.
just nice
They're not
flow.
saying a bunch of stuff, and that's why you're saying I can work in it, because it's not somebody that you feel like you got to say every word that they say. You don't got to jump every time.
I ain't got to be bouncing top of the head. Yeah, that's my part right there. And then I'm stopping and whatever. No, I can be calm. I can be relaxed. My mind can hear the music, but I still am able to think and move and do what I need to be doing.
And I guarantee you're putting out better work. Having that calmness, I can tell you're probably developing a better type of work because your mind is calm, your brain is calm,
and I'm hearing more things because like now, God,
comma right there, like you can hear your brain saying
right. But I can receive things from God. Now, not to say I've always had ideas and things, but it's just like now it comes to me, boom, and I'm like, God, boom, I got this idea, boom, here we go,
and it's
boom.
So, Angela, it's so beautiful seeing how your mind, like how your idea, like God put your purpose here on earth is visionary. Like, you can see vision from their heart-shaped thing, and you can come up with a full game plan for it. And it's so beautiful to watch how, because I can see your face emotion, how it just changes over when God downloads something to you, like, oh, okay, y'all, this is what we're gonna do. And it's like a whole plan. Like, people say, go ahead and give the business plan. She give the whole plan, and you're like, okay, now what now? Hold on. Because that calmness, your nerves are saying you're free to think. You're free to give out your your thoughts, and you're not concerned about who doesn't like it. Like,
Well,
I'm
it's
just
not
gonna
just
go and tell y'all, if you don't like it, then okay. But
it's
still,
not
this is
just
what I
what
think.
you're giving out, it's also what you're receiving. In that place of rest, you give
Mm-hmm.
God the opportunity, you give yourself opportunity to hear God, receive God, so you can be obedient to God,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Outside of that, I'm too busy allowing, again, I'm allowing things in the outside
The
world
poor.
to have to pour into me, to block me, to impact me, to influence me. So
Mhm.
we're like, well, I don't have this and I don't have that. Well, God's got it for you and it's right there for the taking, but you're not allowing yourself to slow down long enough to be able to receive what God has for you, right? It
Right.
takes 21 days to change, to begin the process of something called neuroplasticity in the brain, which allows the brain to rewire itself, and it changes programming. So if you
Okay.
think about your jazz music right now, if you actually listen to your jazz music every single day, don't miss a day for 21 days,
Mhm.
your brain waves, your frequency in your brain, the way the brain transmits information and at the pace at which it does will change dramatically because you're listening to it for 21 days. And you keep doing that for now 90 days, you actually set it in motion where automatically you will find that when your nervous system is not at its best, you're going to be drawn to want to
Craving.
listen to jazz music as a way to calm the nervous system. It's what we do with
Mhm.
meditation, it's what we do with yoga, any type of mindful practice. After having practiced it for a while, a lot of people say, well, when I'm stressed, I run. That's something that works for their nervous
Mm-hmm.
system. But even
Mhm.
running, you're still the nervous system is still amped up.
Uh-huh.
Right.
It's
Because
still
Right.
going.
we struggle to be still and we need to be still, mind, body, and spirit. Like
Mhm.
right now, I'm actually looking for to go away on a silent retreat. And I'm actually looking to go somewhere where you don't speak at all.
Exactly. Oh,
And
I will go with you. Like, no, I love that.
yeah, I'm looking for something right now. I may stay in the US, or if I can find something outside of the country. But the goal with that is so that I can learn to sit with myself on a much deeper level. And when I allow myself to not even listen to myself speak, just imagine the download, imagine the magnitude of
Yes.
being able to truly hear God, and for you to then be able to come out of that and move and be obedient with what God has in store for you.
You know
Natasha,
when
it's so
Natasha,
crazy that you're saying that, because to me, one of my favorite time of meditation is doing meditation of 30 minutes of silence. Like, I don't say nothing. When
Correct.
something tries to come, I tell it no, can't come, right? Like that quietness. It's like, and then the rest of the day being quiet for that time period, just being quiet, to me, and I love to talk, I love to be bouncing up and but quietness
there's
has changed
power.
my
People
life.
think it's power in being quiet. When you have somebody to talk, when people want to argue, and when you're the person that can be quiet and just look at them, it makes them, it shifts the power.
It
It
ticks them off
shifts
though.
everything. When you got somebody who was clowning and going off, and the person that they're doing just sits there and is very quiet, and not looking like, oh my God, they're getting me, but looking at them like, you know what, you look stupid and you sound stupid.
They
It
say
shifts
be careful.
energy to the power resides in the person who's able to calm themselves, control their emotions, and control their actions. That's the person in power, not the person who is like, I'll knock your lights out, and talking all this stuff. And you got to learn how to channel that. And I honestly believe that the further that we go in time, the further we get the clarity from God if you don't spend time. When
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve were walking in the garden, there was nothing to distract them. So they had one-on-one,
Nothing.
honest, good conversation with God. They were just like we talking now. They could hear his voice, and it was crystal clear because they didn't have the distractions.
They had no
Once
distractions.
they didn't have the distractions. Once the serpent came in and said, "Well, you know that you ain't gonna really
What
die.
did the
You know
serpent
you
do?
can." When somebody starts getting in your ear, they take away the power of the connection that you have with God. So when they ate the fruit and God said, "Where are you?" Y'all know God knew where they were at. It wasn't like he would look like, "I don't see y'all where you at." No, he's like,
I love
"I
how God
know that."
asks questions. How he
Just like,
asked the girl at the well, "Where
yes,
your husband?"
yes. Or when Jesus said, "Somebody touched the hem of my
You knew
garment," and he was
somebody
like,
touched you.
but he was like, they were just like, but there's so many people. He was like, no, because virtue left. So I know that there was a special touch because somebody needed something, not just a hustle and bustle. But I say that because as time progresses, we don't use our brains at the capacity and level that we should and could.
Amen.
And when Jesus says, greater works can you do, we're not able to do that because we have allowed so much to separate us when it comes to sin, when it comes to distraction, when it comes to dysfunction and toxicity and negativity and all these things that get poured into us in a daily basis in society, that keeps you from hearing clearly. So therefore, the things that you would have been able to do, you no longer can do at the same level. You know what I'm saying? That's like putting, you know how they say if you put the wrong fuel in a car, you'll mess it up, you'll mess up the engine. If it requires a certain type of gas, that's because that's the kind of gas it needs to run at an optimum level. If you put the wrong gas in there, I'm not saying it's not going to go, but it's not
I'm
going to
just gonna
go as
say,
long or as far, and you are going to run the risk of tearing something up. So to be quiet, to get connected, to listen to God without it being all this other stuff and all these other people who, you got to hear them and they're whining and complaining. So you just think, listening to the people, watching stuff on TV, hearing music that stirs you up in a negative way, not in a positive way, all these things can push you further and further back. So you know how somebody, you in a line waiting, you got your number, and then some other people walk up and get in front of you. You're like, wait a minute. You're
wait a
allowing
minute.
things to get in front of you, but you're not addressing the fact that, hey, you're keeping me from doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is building this connection.
It's
Yeah,
building.
listen, somebody can get in front of me. I'm not in a
Yeah.
hurry. Because God might tell me to make a U-turn. God might tell me to turn left. God might say it's not my turn, and I'm okay with that. You
I'm
know what?
okay. I'm with you, Natasha. Y'all didn't get in front of me. I'm
absolutely.
not gonna cut your neck off because you.
I
Like,
had someone say that to me the other day.
You getting out in front of me.
I had someone say that to me the other day. They're like, "Man, you're always like waiting and always letting people through. Like whether you're at the grocery store or you're driving, you just always let people cut in front of you." I said, "I'm not in a hurry." I said, "I'm on God's time, not their time. So if they want to cut through, they're in a rush, they're in a hurry, they want to go here,
Look,
there, and
go
everywhere.
ahead
Go
on and
for it."
get that. Do you know when you see people who are recklessly driving, you know what? I'm like, hold up, look, let them get on down the road.
You
So
like,
that
let
way,
me get over here on this other
yeah,
lane.
let me move so they can do what they got to do. Because
Absolutely.
the percentage of you getting caught up in a wreck because they are reckless is higher when you're like, so they rolling, let me roll too, you know. And as a younger me, I'll be like, let me find somebody who rolling so we can roll together. Now I'm just like, you know what? I'm good, and I'm gonna get there when I get there. And it's a lot better and easier than when you're pushing and rushing
And a
and
lot
doing
of
all these other
people
things.
a lot of people walk the way they drive, and at least down here in South Florida.
True.
And so it's the same thing when I'm in the store.
You can see it, can't you?
Girl, pushing buckets in the store, girl, and be hitting your ankles.
You
You be like,
can
oh
see
man, girl,
it.
they be flying down the
Well,
aisle.
and something I always wonder is like,
Because I'm a people watcher. So being
same,
a people watcher,
same.
you see people like, what is going on? Because they be talking to this. You like,
Well, and one of the
on?
best things is to watch us like like when we're in crisis. So like for instance, when we're running out of eggs and we're running out of toilet paper and there's not enough gas and there's a hurricane, you really get to see what's going on with
You
people.
really
Yeah.
do.
You really get to see their true colors and how they show up or don't show up. And my kids will always say, "Well, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that?" And I'm like,
No.
God will provide for me. I'm not getting into that mass exodus where everybody's having to push because it's like every man for themselves. The fact that you
Like
go to the
Christmas shopping.
store, yeah, the
Like
fact that
Christmas
you go to
shopping,
the
everybody
store
trying to
and
get the $99 TV.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
go
it's
ahead.
like,
But believe me, them $99 TVs were going to be $99 in January 10th. Like I promise you,
but you know what? Even if it isn't,
it's still
I'm not
okay.
going to kill somebody, hurt somebody, push people out of the way, men, women, and
Yes.
the elderly and children, just because it's $99. Like, really, you need it that bad?
Right. Now, even think about this, which y'all know I told Sparkle no, I'm a little petty and a little to the left, to the left. But anyway, do y'all remember when Popeyes came out with their chicken? And
That
Yes,
chicken
everybody went
sandwich.
yes,
berserk with
and
the
somebody
chicken
die
sandwich,
over
right? Do you know that it was people who lost their lives behind
Over
somebody
this chicken
over this
sandwich.
chicken sandwich? Now, if I was a judge and had the power to get somebody, baby, you would eat chicken. You would eat chicken for the rest of your life. You wouldn't have bread. You wouldn't have condiments. You wouldn't have vegetables.
And they
But
can
in
only have
jail,
it fried,
you
right?
you
They
would
can't have
only
it no
have a
other kind of
fried
way.
chicken, a fried chicken, piece of chicken every single day for the rest of your life in jail. And I wouldn't care. That would be all that you would eat. If you kill somebody over a chicken sandwich, you don't think that yes, for me, that would be like you would eat chicken
That's
for the
the
rest of your
sentence.
life. That would be your sentence. Put them in jail, and for the rest of their life, that's all they're eating is chicken. I need you to understand. I need you to understand how this chicken has impacted your life. I want you to grasp that. Because do you know how crazy it is to kill somebody behind a sandwich? Really? Really?
Angela gonna give them an overflow of
Really?
chicken.
Oh,
Now you have all the chicken in this world that you ever.
you ain't got to fight for it because it's coming to you. But I know that you're going to get tired of chicken in a minute. But guess what? I'm not going to let you do. Get anything else. You're going to
You
eat
ain't getting
chicken
no
forever.
burger.
Yeah, chicken
What
forever.
What are you eating
Not even
today?
vegetables. Look, I'm not even gonna give you some green beans and corn or mashed potatoes. Or, no, you're getting straight chicken
Chicken.
forever. Yeah,
So don't let Angela be the judge, okay?
yeah, that wouldn't, that's why I'm not in that field.
which
It's
Because
it's a
if
thought
Angela's
process
the
of
judge,
how we do things to the extreme on something minute. Like you can't go. Why would you go and push somebody or trample over somebody to get a $99?
because we are living in a world where people are very self-absorbed and self-centered. And like I said, I see it down here. Can't begin to tell you the amount of people that have moved down to South Florida that
This
we
village is
have less locals than we used to in South Florida. You know what I mean?
I think it's in every state. Every
And
state.
and
So
every time there's no gas and no toilet paper, people are trampling over each other to the point that stores have to put up signs where you only limit one or you
you
only
can
limit a case. Like, you have to tell me to limit. Like, I can't use my brain to realize that there's other human beings that could be in need of stuff as well. People don't know about
I,
They
I
don't
I
care,
know
girl. They'll have
somebody
a
right
buggy
now.
full of 10 toilet roll. I mean, 10 things of, the 24 10 packs
yeah.
because you want to make sure that you're not going to run out.
But
And
this
you're
is the
taking care.
thing. You know, it's some people that's doing that has a house of two. Like it's only two people. It's
Mm-hmm.
only two people in that whole entire house. And your storage unit is an overflow.
Overflow of stuff. Yes. We watched the show you last night and I think it's Killing Eve, I think it is on Netflix. But anyway, she was going to the restroom, right? And the guy said, well, they take the toilet paper. So he said, how many sheets do you need? He said, when you just bring your own toilet paper. He said, but I know you new here. So how many sheets do you need? She's like, can you just give me the toilet paper, sir? And then when I get done, I'll bring it to you. Do you know
Oh, they're
how
gonna be
crazy that
mad
is
at
for
me
you to
because I'm
micromanage how many
excessive.
sheets of toilet paper somebody needs? But this is,
What you gotta count it? One,
he's like, so exactly what are you getting ready to do? Because I'm trying to figure out I can give you 3 sheets or do you need me to give you like,
6.
yeah, I might be squeeze 9 for you if you think you're really gonna do something major, but if you just gonna take it,
wow,
I'm gonna give you, yes, like,
that is
but that is how we
crazy.
operate. That is how we operate on a daily basis with
Yes.
life and things, with people and how we do them.
Because I'm
And it's
telling you,
crazy.
down here in the South, let them say it might be snow. Let them say it's a possibility that
Mm.
we're gonna
No
get
milk,
two
no bread,
inches
no
of
eggs for
snow.
sure.
Okay, you go and it's 2 inches of snow. You cannot find eggs, bread, water, just basic things because they said it's going to melt by Wednesday. So Monday, you're in this store. I know grocery stores love
They do.
winter time. They
Oh yeah.
They
love it
do.
Well,
because
that's what happens down here with a hurricane. Like I don't start panicking till we get into like a cat 3, cat 4, and I really know it's heading this way. The minute people hear category 1 or we have a tropical storm, everybody's at the grocery store. Within 24 hours, shelves across counties are empty.
yeah.
And you're like, why? Like, if
Yes.
you're not from here, like, sit down and read a weather report and understand, like, we're gonna be okay.
It's mothers that get on Facebook like, does anybody have any formula? Because there's no, and my child needs
That's
milk.
insane.
Like when you gotta make a post, like, has anybody seen any kind of
And the crazy thing about it is for people who have these, like you said, these storage facilities, or they have it in their garage, and you may have 20 packs of water in there already and 10 things of tissue, but you will run out and go get more because you feel like,
Let me tell you, every time I leave my grandparents' house, I leave with a bag because they storage has everything you ever might need or ever might want. Not necessary that you need, that you might say, oh, I want some Cheetos. It's probably 4 bags of Cheetos in there. So just go if you get, because, and then you got to check the date because they buy so many that they're probably expired. Like, I was just there and I was like, how old are these cookies? You got to ask, how old are they before you get it? But
let me check and see if I see some mold on this because yeah,
but you like water, y'all. I am not playing. It's probably 10 things of water down at the bottom of the floor. So what I do is I take me a case every time I go there. I take a case out with me. Why not? Detergent, yo, it's like to the ceiling. Like,
well, at least everybody know where to go when they need something.
it's an overflow.
Stop going to the store and go to these people who got them stored up in their house, baby.
Because my grandfather watches the news on like non-stop.
He ready,
watching the news.
Prepared. That's cute. But you
It's
know what?
Welch's grape juice, like things you don't even think of, like.
What they say, baby, we might have a taste of it. We can't get it. I know where we can go.
But my granddad said, but you always get a bottle, don't you? You always grab. And I do. But it's the mindset of and they go back to, I remember when I didn't have nothing.
That's really where it stems from. When you feel like there's a lack and there's not an abundance of something, then you want to hoard things because you don't know when you're going to get it. Even though you can go right next door and get it, even though you have accessibility, in your mind, you're still living like, what if we never get it again? What if we don't have it? I'm going to get it just to make sure I don't run out.
Which comes back to influence and how that affects your nervous system. Right? So coming back to your nervous system conversation, what I believe to be true based on what I've experienced now continues to have an effect on me because I continue to live in lack. I continue to believe that I don't have. I continue to have this mediocre poverty mindset. And I get, many of us came from poverty. But we weren't not there today, right? And if we have
God will bring it to pass. He has brought it to pass. Like, let's thank him for he's brought it to pass.
It comes back to today's reading for me where people may change, situations may change, but God never changes. And if God provided for you on day number 1, why will he not provide for you on day 10,000?
You gotta believe that has to be in your spirit that I
calm your nervous system.
Calm your nervous system. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, Growing up, my mom was like super afraid of storms, right? And my dad could be out doing
Oh,
something or whatever. Baby, you let it act like it's a clap of thunder. My mama would grab me and my brother and sister and be like, we going somewhere to somebody's house. So we
oh,
not staying here, baby. We were gone. As soon as it looked like the clouds was coming and it was a little thunder, a
yo,
little
was
rumble of thunder,
gone.
we were always gone to somebody's house because she was so afraid of storms. And I was made up my mind, I better not be leaving nothing when I get old. I don't care if it could be black. It could be black
Now you,
outside. It could be lightning. It could be like bam, 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 bam. And I'm gonna be like, cause you know how some people be like, oh, you gotta get somewhere, turn everything off. Turn everything off. Like turn off the
uh-huh.
TV, turn off
Oh yeah,
everything.
I
You have to sit
remember
down and be
storms where
still
you
and be
can't
quiet
talk.
whenever there's a storm outside.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
Our
like,
house
yeah.
was you can't talk, you can't move,
Right?
you gotta sit
Where
still.
did they come from?
I don't know, because the Lord is doing his work. That's what she was like. And then the lightning and the storm, he's putting the devil out. Like, so growing up, you learning all this stuff like, well,
Yeah.
God, mama, the Bible didn't say that is not what the Bible said.
Yeah, had us traumatized, child, running from the rain and the thunderstorms. So let
And,
me
and
let me
look,
back
and
up
the
and say
devil,
this.
when the lightning comes, here come the
Thank
devil,
you,
y'all. Here he comes.
thank you, Miss Patricia. I am so glad that you are taking some time to go and spend time on vacation in Alaska. I think that
Yes,
is so amazing, and I feel like everybody should take a vacation. Take some time, even if it's a staycation. Take some time. The people give you time so that you can relax your
disconnect.
mind and reset and regroup. It's not a badge of honor to say, "Ooh, I got 228 days of PTO saved up."
That is not a badge of honor
It's not.
unless you know you're getting ready to quit. Now, if you getting ready to quit, leave those P2 hours right there so that your last check is a pretty check because they have to pay you. Take those 6 days though, because the sick days and
You're
the
not getting
personal
them.
days and the holidays, by law, they don't have to pay you for it. But that good old paid time off, they have to pay you for that paid time off when you leave. So take all your sick leave, take all your personal time, take all your holidays, take them. Don't let them build up. Because when you leave, they're gonna be like, well, she left us with 300 sick hours. Praise the Lord. And it's already advocated. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know
I,
what you
I
said. She had a flash. Look, she had a flashback. Bring it back,
because
Junior.
Bring it back.
it irritates me so much that people roll over. I'm a roll over my time. I'm a roll over my time. I'm a roll over my time. So you're not gonna take no time for yourself?
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Every
No,
time I
no,
come in,
they don't, because then they can complain about, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. The job needs me. And without me, the job's not going to be able to function on its own. Because somehow, before you got there, the job wasn't doing well. And when you got there, it's like the job now can't live
You
without.
the game
Come on
changer,
now.
baby.
Come on
You the difference maker. Yes.
but the whole point is, what are you letting pour into you?
now.
Yes. Thank you, Sparkle. Bring it on back.
What are you letting pour into you? What is pouring into that ear gate, those eye gates, those no, even those smells, those them smell of some,
Yeah,
when it
and
smell
or
bad.
and or who you're surrounding yourself with. I mean, I think we have to
Yes.
look at what we're allowing to influence us,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So again, I started that conversation with looking at my circle of people, and although small, they're very powerful and impacted individuals in my life. And I'd rather have one than be surrounded by 1,000 of people who aren't
Isn't that right?
in alignment. Correct.
Girl, what I think you sent me something from real. You put us in the group from Real Talk Kim. And she was talking about people are leaves, branches, and roots. And so she
Mm.
said, I would rather have four quarters than 100 pennies.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am.
4 strong root people in your life who are there. And don't mistake, because the roots are solid, the roots are
Mm-hmm.
stable. The roots are not the people who are always got to be seen, always in your face, always. But the root people are there when you need them. And sometimes people want the root people to be like the leaves, who
Yeah.
always in your face, always there, always, whatever.
Yes.
But you think you mistake, because most of the time you don't appreciate the root people like you should.
Exactly. But you
Because
hanging on to them leaves.
but you
The-
hang on to the leaves and the branches, baby. Listen, you hang, the leaves gonna blow out and be gone in a minute. You think they're significant, but they're not. They're seasonal
Leaves,
because they're gonna
the
drop
leaves
off.
fall and the branches break. That's
yeah.
where the leaves fall and branches break. The root,
Yeah.
a root is really, really hard to destroy. Even when you cut down a tree and you leave a little itty bitty stump, there is still an entire root
Yes,
That's still
around.
in
yes,
there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
yes.
still growing.
realize
And leaves change by seasons. So
that.
keep those leaves you want to when the season come, and they gonna change because
Yeah, yeah.
I want root people, like, no matter whether I tell them everything or I don't tell them anything. We just need roots in, no matter if I make the wrong move, that now we're not together because I didn't react like you, I didn't respond like you thought I should respond.
Don't get me started. That's a conversation for
I
another
know,
day.
right? I was getting ready to say we're gonna crank it on up for look. We gotta go.
I believe God. Do you believe God? We believe God. We believe God. Welcome back to Empower Morning Show. But is this the last week of May?
It is.
Yes, yes, it is.
It
For
is.
the
Baby.
last week of May. So we have to go out better than we came in May. We're going to go out better, because all we doing is getting better and better and better and better, so that we can live the abundant life that God has promised you. See you tomorrow. Have a blessed one.
Bye.